Using the method of completing the square to solve each of the following quadratic equation. So A is x squared plus x minus 90 equal to 0. Now for using the method of completing the square, this is x squared plus x minus 90 equal to 0. So in this form, what you're going to do for completing the square, you say x plus, since there is a plus sign, you make it plus here. Then half of this, half of the coefficient of this x, so it's 1 over 2. But the coefficient of x is 1, so 1 over 2 squared. And you minus half of this coefficient all squared. So this is a complete square now. Minus 90. Just write this to this equal to 0. Now we have x plus 1 over 2 all squared minus 1 over 4 minus 90 equal to 0. So we have x plus 1 over 2 all squared. This will be, this is 360, so 360 plus 1, this will have minus 361. Now you now have x plus 1 over 2 all squared equal to squared now. Now it will be, I want this to move to this, to the right hand side, so I'll just add this to both sides. So we have this. We'll be left, this one will cancel out. We'll be left with this on the left hand side, then this on the right hand side. So now we take square root of both sides, so we have this equal to plus minus square root of 361 all over 2. So you will now be left with this x equal to now with this equation you add minus half to both sides. This will cancel out this. You are now left with x equal to minus plus over 2 plus or minus 361 all over 2. So that's the value of x. Now this value of x, so this is the value of x. Now we have the next one, b. b is 2 minus 3x minus 2x squared equal to 0. So using the complete square method, we'll say 2. Since the coefficient of x squared is minus 2, so I'll use minus 2 to factor this. So say minus 2. Minus 2 divide this. So minus 3x divided by minus 2, you have 3 all over 2x. Then minus 2x squared divided by minus 2, you have plus x squared. Now making this completing the square. Now say 2 minus 2x. Yeah, so for this to be the complete square, it will be x minus, let me just, x plus half of this is 3 over 4 square minus half of this square, so half of that is 3 over 4 all squared is equal to 0. So we have 2 minus 2 into x plus 3 over 2 over 4 all squared minus 9 over 16. Now we are left with 2 minus 2x plus 3 over 4 all squared. Now this minus 2 times this will give you plus 9 over 8, that is 0. Because if you open up this bracket, this minus 2 will multiply this, which is this. This minus 2 will now multiply minus 2 times minus 9 over 16 will give you plus 9 over 8. So we are left with this plus this. These are like terms. Let me bring them together. This and this are like terms, so let me bring it together. Then this one is 2 minus 2x plus 3 over 4 all squared equal to 0. So this will now be 25 all over 8 minus 2 all in brackets x plus 3 over 4 all squared equal to 0. Now this will now be adding 2x, so 3 over 4 all squared to both sides. Square. Now this will cancel out this, so it will now be 25 over 8 is equal to 2 bracket open x plus 3 over 4 all squared. Now dividing both sides by 2, you now have 25 all over 16 equal to, cancel out this, you are now left with x plus 3 over 4 all squared. Now taking the square root of both sides, you have this as 5 over 4 plus or minus x plus 3 over 4. So adding minus 3 over 4 to this side, this will cancel this. Now you have minus 3 over 4 plus or minus 5 over 4 x. So x will now be equal to minus 2 or 1 over 2. So this now while this minus 2 here, you have minus 3 minus 5. Now with this you have minus 3 over 4 minus 5 over 4 or minus 3 over 4 plus 5 over 4. So this will give you minus 8 over 4, or this will give you 2 over 4 plus minus 3 plus 5 is 2. When we divide this, we have minus 2 over 2. Now let's do C. C is 7. C 7x squared plus 11x minus 5 to 0. Now when you factor the 7x squared, so 7 divided this, you have 7x squared. 7 divided this, you have plus 11 plus 11 over 7x minus 5 equal to 0. So using the completing the square method, now you have 7 into, now to use completing the square method, you say x. Now half of this, say plus half of that. Half of that is 14 all squared. Now minus the square of half of this, half of the coefficient of x. So half of the coefficient of x is 11 over 7 divided by 2, which is 11 over 14 all squared. This is a complete square now. Minus, we now compare this. Minus 5 equal to 11. So we have 7. This will now be x plus 11 over 14 all squared minus 11 squares 14 squared. Let's say 49 times 4. This is 6. 6. This is 16 plus 3. 19. 6 minus 5. This time is 7 plus 1. So if you expand this, okay, let me just expand it yet. So let's leave it like this. So if I expand it now, I have 7 bracket open x plus 11 over 14 all squared minus 121 over 196 times 7 minus 5 equal to 0. 7 bracket open x plus 11 over 14 all squared. This one will not do. So this is like 7. 7 here, you have 2, 5, 56, 7, 50. 6, 8. So this will be minus 121 all over 28 minus 5 equal to 0. So 25 times 28 times 5, you have this times this is for 140. So 140 plus 121 so you have 7 x plus bracket open 11 over 14 all squared. This will be minus. This is something the same. 121 over 28 minus 5 times 28 divided by 28 equal to 0. So 7 into x plus 11 over 14 all squared minus 121. This time this will give you 0. That is giving you 40. This time this 10. 14. This minus to 7 into x plus 11 over 14 whole square. This will now be minus 261 all over 28 equal to 0. Now you have dividing all through by 7. So the 7 over 7 over 7 over 7. Dividing it through by 7. This will cancel out. This will stay with 0. So we have x plus 11 over 14 whole squared minus 261 all over 196 equal to 0. Because 0 divided by 7 is still 0. Now, if you add plus 261 to both all over 196 to both sides, all over 196 to both sides, and you now have the cancel of this. Here at the left hand side, you're left with x plus 1 all over 14, all in brackets, all raised to power 2 is equal to 261 all over 196. Now you will now be left with the square root of, you squaring both sides, you have x plus 1 all over 14 equal to the square root of 261 plus or minus all over 14. If you add minus 1 all over 14 to both sides, this will cancel out. You are left with x equal to minus 11 all over 14 plus or minus square root of 261 all over 14. So we have minus 11 plus or minus square root of 261 over 14. So this is our final answer for x. Now this next one D. D is equal to 5x squared plus 32x plus 10. 5x squared plus 32x plus 10 equal to 0. Now using completing the square method, you say 5 factor, when we factorize it using 5, so 5 divide this, you have x squared. 5 divide 5x squared, you have 5x, you have x squared, plus 5 divide 32x, you have 32 all over 5x plus 10 equal to 0. So this, to make this complete, complete square, you say, you now say x, take one of this, you now use half of this, which is 16 all over 5 all squared, minus half of this square, so this is a complete square, plus 10 equal to 0. So this here is a complete square of this, so you now say 5 bracket open x plus 16 all over 5 all squared minus 16 square choose to use 6-1. So 256 over 25 plus 10 0. So if we expand this with this 5 here, we have 5 into x plus 16 all over 5 all squared minus 256 all over 5 plus 10 equal to 0. Now we have 5 bracket open x plus 16 all over 5 all squared minus, this will now be 50. You now have, let me just say here is plus, bracket close, bracket open, you have minus 256. 5 times 6 is 10, is 50 all over 5. That is now you have 5 bracket open x plus 16 all over 5 all squared plus, this will now be minus 206 all over 5. That is 0. So this will give us 5 bracket open x plus 1 over 5 all squared minus 206 all over 5 equal to 0, because plus times minus will give you minus. Now adding minus, then adding plus 206 all over 5 to both sides, this will cancel out this. You are left with 5x plus 16 all over 5 all squared equal to 206 all over 5. Now dividing all through by 5, you have this will cancel out, 5 will cancel at 5. You have 5 plus 16 over 5 all squared equal to 206 all over 25. Now taking the square root of both sides, you have x plus 16 all over 5 equal to plus or minus the square root of 206 all over 5. So if you add minus 16 all over 5 to both sides, this will cancel out this. You're left with x equal to minus 16 all over 5 plus or minus square root of 206 all over 5. So your answer, you're left with minus 16 plus or minus square root of 206 all over 5 for x. That is equation, that's D. So the next one we have E. E is x squared minus 5x plus 4. E is x squared minus 5x plus 4 equal to 0. So using completing the square method, you have x minus, because this is here is minus, here will be minus 5 all over 2, that is half of this coefficient of x all squared minus 5 all over 2 all squared plus 4 equal to 0. So this is a complete square of this. Now I just added this plus 4 equal to 0. So now if you do completing the square method of this, now you have x minus 5 all over 2 all squared. Now you know the way to do the completing square, since here is minus, here will be minus. If here is plus, here will be plus. Then this is a constant, this minus here is a constant, so you have minus 25 all over 4 plus 4 equal to 0. So now you have x minus 5 all over 2 all squared. Now here you have plus, here will be minus 25. Now plus times minus is minus, plus times plus is plus. So this will be minus 25 plus 4 times 4 is 16 over 4. Now this will now be x minus 5 all over 2 all squared plus this will now be minus 25 plus 16 would be minus 9 over 4 equal to 0. Now plus times minus will be minus, so you have x minus 5 over 2 all squared minus 9 over 4 equal to 0. Now if you add 9 over 4 plus 9 over 4 to both sides, this all cancel out. You are left with x. You are left with x minus 5 over 2 all squared equal to 9 over 4. Taking the square root of both sides, you have x minus 5 over 2 equal to plus or minus 3 over 2. Now, if you add 5 over 2 to both sides, this will cancel out this. You are left with x is equal to 5 over 2 plus or minus 3 over 5 over 2, sorry. Here now you have x is equal to 5 over 2 plus 3 over 2 or 5 over 2 minus 3 over 2. So this will give you 8 over 2. This is 8 over 2. 8 over 2 is 4. 8 over 2 is 4. Or this one will give you 2. That is 5 minus 3 over 2. So this is 2 over 2. This is 1. This will give you 1. So x is 4 or 1. But the next question is 2x squared plus 7x plus 1. That is f. 2x squared plus 7x plus 1 equal to 0. Now to do this, you first factor this. 2 will now be 2 divide 2x squared will give you x squared. 2 divide this will give you 7x over 2 plus 1 equal to 2. So you now have to make this complete square. You say x, you now take half of this. Half of this is, you take this sign here, any sign that is here, put it here. Half of this is 7 all over 4 all squared. Half of 7 over 2 is 7 over 4 all squared minus the square of this value here, the square of half of this, so 7 over 4 all squared. All of this will be multiplied by 2 plus 1 equal to 0. You now have, you expand it. If you expand it, 2 multiply this, you have 2x plus 7 over 4 all squared minus 2 multiply this, you have 49 all over 8 plus 1 equal to 0. 49 all over 8. So we're left with 2 bracket open x plus 7 over 4 all squared minus, okay, let me say this is plus, this will be minus 49 over 8 plus 8 over 8 is still something as 1 equal to 0. That means it's same thing as saying 8 times 1 is 8. So you say 2 bracket open x plus 7 over 4 all squared plus, this is minus 9 plus 8 is we give you minus 41 all over 8 equal to 0. Now you now have 2 bracket open x plus 7 over 4 all squared plus times minus is minus 41 all over 8 equal to 0. Now if you add plus 41 all over 8 to both sides, this will cancel out this. We are left with 2 bracket open x plus 7 over 4 all squared equal to 41 all over 8. Now the square root of dividing all through by 2. You see this 2 is multiplying this to knock off, to eliminate this 2 here, you divide it, because since it's multiplication you divide so that it will knock it off. Now this, you are now left with x plus 7 over 4 all squared equal to, this will be 41 all over 16. Taking square root of both sides, you have x plus 7 over 4 equal to plus or minus 41 over 4. Now if you add minus 7 over 4 to both sides, this will cancel out this. You have x, you are left with x equal to minus 7 plus or minus 41. So the taking square root of both sides, this will be square root of this over 4. So the answer should be x is equal to minus 7 plus square root of 41 over 4. Then the next one is 2x squared plus x minus 21. 2x squared. And the next one is g. 2x squared plus x minus 21 equals to 0. Let's see. What is there? 2x squared plus x minus 21 equals to 0. Now using completing the square method first, we'll make the coefficient of x squared 1. So you say 2 divide 2x squared will give you x squared. 2 divide plus x will give you this, making this, completing this square, you just say x. You take this sign plus. Now this half of the coefficient of x is 1 over 4. Now say all squared minus 1 over 4 all squared minus 21 equal to 0. So this is a complete square now. So what I'll do next is I'll open up this square root. I'll open up this complete square. So I'll say 2 into x plus 1 over 4 all squared minus, this is 1 over 16, so it should be multiplying by 2, it will give me 1 over 8 minus 21 equal to 0. So I have 2 into x plus 1 over 4 all squared. So this will be, so this is plus, bracket open, minus 8 minus 8 times minus 21 will give you minus 168 over 8 over 8 equal to 0. Now you have 2 into x plus 1 over 4 all square plus minus 8 minus 1 over minus 168 will give him minus 176 all over 8 is 0. Now you have 2 bracket open x plus 1 over 4 all square. Plus times minus will give you minus 176 over 8 equal to 0. So adding 176 to both sides, 176 over 8 to both sides, this will cancel out this. You now have 2 into x plus 1 over 4 all squared equal to 176 all over 8. Now dividing all through by 2, this will cancel out this. You're left with x plus 1 over 4 all squared equal to 176 all over 16. Taking the square root of both sides, you have x plus 1 over 4 equal to the square root of 176 plus or minus 176 all over 4. Now, if you subtract 1 over 4 to both sides, this will cancel out this. You're left with x equal to minus 1 over 4 plus or minus square root of 176 over 4. Now, your x is now equal to minus 1 minus square root of 176 all over 4, or minus 1 plus square root of 176 all over 4. So that is the answer for that. So this one is h is x plus so we have x squared plus x minus 70 equal to So that is x squared plus x minus 70 equals to 0. So making this a complete square, let's say x, then half of the coefficient of x is plus 1 over 2. Now all squared minus 1 over 2 all squared minus 70 equal to 0. So this is a complete square of this. Now we have x plus 1 over 2 all squared minus 1 over 4 minus 70 equal to 0. Now you have x plus 1 over 2 all squared minus, let me just say plus, this is minus 1, 4 times 70 will be 280 over 4. So we have x plus 1 over 4 try 1 over 2 all squared plus bracket open, this will be minus 281 all over 4, because minus 1 minus 280 will give you minus 281. So plus times minus will give you minus, so you have x plus 1 over 2 all squared minus 281 all over 4 equal to 0. Taking square root of both sides, okay, now add them plus 281 all over 4 to both sides, plus 281 all over 4 to both sides. This will cancel out this. We're left with x plus 1 over 2 all squared equal to 281 over 4. Now taking the square root of both sides, you have x plus 1 over 2 equal to square root of plus minus square root of 281 all over 2. So if you add minus 1 over 2 to both sides, this will cancel out this. You are left with x equal to minus 1 over 2 plus or minus square root of 281 all over 2. So your x will be minus 1 minus square root of 281 all over 2, or minus 1 plus square root of 281 all over 2. We have h, now this one is I. This 2 is I, 11x squared plus 23x plus 3 equal to 0. It's 11x squared plus 23x plus 3 equal to 0. Let me see whether it's correct. 11x squared plus 23x plus 3 equal to 0. So now factor this alone so that the coefficient of x squared will be 1. So factor this out, 11 out, so divide all through. So if you divide 11 with this, you have x squared, plus if you divide 11 with 23x, so you have 23 over 11x plus 3 equal to 0. Now making this completing the square, say 11 This will now be x. We take this sign plus half of this, half of the coefficient of 23. Half of the coefficient of x will be 23 all over 22 all squared minus 23 all over 22 all squared plus 3 equal to 0. Now you have 11 bracket open x plus 23 all over 22 all squared minus the square root of, let's say, the square of 2, 3. This will give you 9. This is 6. This is 6, 4, 9. 9. This is 2, 5, 29. 4, 8, 4. Bracket open plus 3 equals 0. Now, if you open this bracket, if you expand this, you have 11 bracket open x plus 23 over 22 all squared minus 5, 2, 9 all over. Use 11. If you write 11 with takes, you will have over 44. Over 44 plus 3 equals to 0. Now, there is another way we can do this. We add plus 5 to 9 all over 44. Subtract 3. So if you then that means you add this, subtract this. You also do the same in the other side. Minus 3. Now, what I did is to remove this thing, these two terms. So remove minus 529 all over 44 plus 3. So what I did was to add the opposite of them to both sides. So the opposite of this minus 529 all over 44 is plus 529 all over 44. The opposite of plus 3 is minus 3. So I'll do the same to both sides. So this will cancel out, this will cancel out. We're left with this. So now we have 11 x, bracket open, x plus 23 all over 22 all squared. On the left hand side equal to, this will now be, we have 5 to 9. So 3 times this should be minus, so okay, 12 times 3 is 12. That's 132 all over 44. Now divide all through by 11. Divide all through by 11. We have this will cancel out this. We now have x plus 23 all over 22 brackets all squared equal to this. This will be 7, 9, 11, 397.484. Now taking square root of both sides, you have x plus 232 equal to plus or minus square root of 397 all over. This will be 22. Now you were left with this. So if you add plus, if you add minus 23 all over 22 to both sides, minus 23 over 22 to both sides, so that this will cancel out this. At the left hand side you have x, at the right hand side you have minus 23 over 22 plus or minus square root of 397 all over 22. So that is the value for x. The last and not the least is we have 20x squared minus 4x minus 4 equal to 0. So 20x squared minus 4x minus 1 equal to 0. Let me be sure that is what was written. 20x squared minus 4x minus 1 equal to 0. So using completing the square method, now I'll factor out this. I need the coefficient of this to be 1, coefficient of x squared to be 1. So what I'll do is to factor it with the coefficient of x that is here, which is 20. So if I factor it, so now what I'll do, if I divide this with 20x squared with 20, I will have x squared minus, if I divide 20x squared with 4x, let me just put this minus here first. Let me just, if I divide this minus 4x with 20, I will have minus 1 over 5x. Now minus 1 equal to 0. So what we have now is a 20 bracket open. We say x. Now we take this sign here, we say minus. We now add, what we're going to add here is half of the coefficient of x. Half of the coefficient of x is 1 over 10 all squared minus half of the coefficient of x all squared. The coefficient of x is 1 over 10. Now bracket minus 1 equals to 0. So we have 20. So we have x minus 1 over 10 all squared minus 1 over 100 minus 1 equals to 0. So we have 20. We want to expand this now. I have 20 into x bracket open minus 1 over 10 all squared minus 1 over 5 minus 1 over 1 equal to 0. So we have now 20x minus 1 over 10 all squared. This will be minus 6 over 5 equals 0. Now, taking out, adding plus 6 over 5 to both sides. This will cancel out this. We're left with 20 bracket open x minus 1 over 10 all squared equal to 6 over 5. Now divide all through by 20. We're left, this one will cancel out this. You have x minus 1 over 10 all squared. This will be 6 over 100. Now, square root of both sides, you have x minus 1 over 10 equal to square root of 6 all over 10. So if you add 1 over 4, 1 over 10 to both sides, to take off this, you take the opposite of it. This is minus 1 over 10, so you add plus. You have to add, you say plus 1 over 10 to both sides. You add plus 1 over 10 to both sides. This one will cancel out this. You have x equal to, this one is plus or minus. So you have plus 1 plus or minus square root of 6 all over 10. So these are x. X will now be equal to 1 plus square root of 6 all over 10 all over 10, or 1 minus square root of 6 all over 10. This is the answer. So we'll end. This is the last one. This is the last one. So we'll end it here. We'll end it here. Thank you for watching.